Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back. This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mode channel, on point reviews all day, every day. We're back now with a very famous perfume that I have seen in many people's top 10 lists. Some of the famous YouTubers actually consider this one of their top, like, regular rotation. And so I said, what the heck? But then when I looked into this fragrance, which I have been, it's stored here for months now, I saw that it's mostly a fall winter fragrance. So I waited a little bit, a few months until it got a little bit cooler so I can get a more accurate description for you guys. And here we are. So this one here is care of my friend Jay, who sent this over to me. This is actually the entire sample pack of imaginary authors. And the one that we will be talking about today is their most famous one, and that is Memoirs of a Trespasser. That's right, Memoirs of a Trespasser, folks, by imaginary authors. So this is an indie brand, and I'm so excited to impart this to you guys. I made sure to wear it, check it, and really get the feels of this one so I can give you guys an in-depth analysis. I'll also talk about the comparison with Maison Martin Margiela's By the Fireplace, because there really is. I mean, there is a comparison between this fragrance and the famous or infamous Maison Martin Margiela By the Fireplace. So I'm going to talk about that. What's so different with this one? What can you expect? As well as if I think that it's full bottle worthy for the fall winter season. So without further ado, let's talk about imaginary authors, Memoirs of a Trespasser. Let's hit the music. Okay, we are back. Let's go spray this right now. Yeah, so this one right here is a vanilla dominant scent. And when we think about vanilla, I think at this weather, we think about Lune Feline, we think about Spirituous Double Vanille by Guerlain. But this is definitely a vanilla scent. I think that the vanilla here, which is, I mean, right from the get-go all the way until the end, I mean, it gets mixed with other things near the end, but the vanilla over here can become, it's pretty much, it's very sweet. It can be like an overpowering type of vanilla in the beginning. Very sweet. It could burn your nose. And maybe you can say slightly synthetic. There's a synthetic vibe here, but it's definitely vanilla. And this usually lasts maybe first 5 minutes of the opening right there. It's like, it's just pure vanilla coming in. But then as this continues, after maybe the first 5 minutes, it gets a little bit darker. Okay, and you could say even like a bourbon type of vanilla, and that's because it's being blended in with other things, and that's because you have notes such as ambrette, which is like a musk mallow. It gives a little musky and sweet tone, but then ambrette sort of smells like cognac, like a light cognac. And if you look at the literature of Memoirs of a Trespasser, part of the literature includes a glass of cognac, so you will get that slight cognac musky vibe mixed in with this vanilla. But for some of y'all, maybe you won't even detect any changes. Maybe some of you guys will just write this off as straight vanilla, and I believe you guys, because actually the blend here has some slight nuances, but ultimately you will get some sort of burned or charred vanilla. On top of that, you also have a note that blends with vanilla in many fragrances, and that's benzoin. Benzoin is a sweet resin, thick, adds to the vanilla again, but then, like I said, turns it into a darker vanilla, which is slightly charred or slightly smoked at this point. And there goes the brightness, and that's why it's kind of great for fall winter. Now, as this progresses, for me, the lovely part for me is the oak barrels. So the oak note here is for me one of the nicest notes here. It becomes incredibly woody. Right after the vanilla comes in and it blends in, it gets woody, but oak woody. It reminds you of oak barrels. It reminds you of Angel's Share, the type of oak that they use over there. You think about oak barrels. It becomes dusty, it becomes dry. And this matches the cognac type smell of the ambrette as well. But I think that this one right here, the oak barrels, provides the dusty, the woody comparisons that are done with imaginary authors' Memoirs of a Trespasser. A lot of people compare it to like an old wood cabin. Some people say it's like an old library or an old bookshelf. Very dusty, very woody. And I can see that definitely because you have a good amount of oak here in this fragrance right there. Now there's another woody note here, which is guaiac wood. And the guaiac wood provides sort of like a tar-like smell. It's a woody tar-like smell that gets added onto here. This one does not have any type of incense, but you do have a smoky feel, and I believe that it's from the guaiac wood. The guaiac wood provides the tar-like smell, and it's a slight smoke. I wouldn't say it's a crazy amount of smoke, but it is a slight amount of smoke that will make you feel like the vanilla is being burned or being charred. This one will give you the feels of like burned marshmallows, burned s'mores, but not necessarily super burning woods, lots of smoke, because it's just from the guaiac wood. So this one has myrrh as well. Now myrrh is not incense, okay? Sometimes it's just added with incense, but there is not incense. Myrrh is added here. It's basically a sweet and bitter type of resin that's added to the fragrance right here. I think that it's a slight curve, but again, does not overpower the vanilla. Many of you will still, I think once you try this, you're just gonna be like, it's just vanilla, but actually it adds a little bit of a nuance there to the vanilla type of scent. Now, the mysterious note that I was waiting for when I was testing this one is clay. Yeah, clay. Now, when does the clay come out here? It's during the dry down. Once all the sweetness kind of backs up a little bit and the woody notes kind of remain, well, you're gonna get a clay type smell right here, which is like, you could say kind of like plasticky. It's not like the clay from pottery, definitely not earthy type of clay. It seems like a plasticky, like a Play-Doh type of smell, which is not bad. Again, you won't notice it much, but for me, I made it a point to check out the clay. When I saw it, I was like, oh, clay, what's that? And it's definitely right here on the Drydown. Ultimately, this one smells like a bunch of things. It smells like the fireplace. It smells like burned marshmallows, burned vanilla, charred vanilla, or you could say oak cellars, dusty cabin, wooden shelves, old library. Everything is absolutely correct because it does resemble the smell of By the Fireplace by Maison Martin Margiela, okay? And to me, having owned Margiela's By the Fireplace, I will say this, that you don't need to own both of them. I think that it could be either or. So whatever you use, I think that that's okay. If you were able to get By the Fireplace first, then you don't need this. But if you don't have By the Fireplace, like for me, I sold mine, so I might end up picking up this instead and enjoying a full bottle of this rather than get a replacement for By the Fireplace. I think that this burned vanilla type of smell is quite interesting, and I think that if you're not used to that kind of stuff, this could possibly blow you away. That's why this one was initially very popular when it came out, because you know there are people that have not smelled that, and once you smell it, you know it's totally different from your other fragrances. This has a very balanced amount of smoke in it. I think that the woods really matter because it's oak, and then you know the vanilla is, well, that's the part that maybe is the only con, is if you get a headache from really sweet and sticky type fragrances, like you might not like this. There is a demographic or a percentage of the population that love fragrances that really get a headache with really sweet fragrances. I get that. And so you might get that with this one. So if you're that type of person, you might want to try or test this one first, get a sample pack for, I think it was like $40-50, and try them first before you commit to anything. But if you are familiar with By the Fireplace, you're familiar with that burnt vanilla smell. I think even Lunfeline has that burnt vanilla smell. But if you are familiar with that, I think you'll be fine with a full bottle of Memoirs of a Trespasser by Imaginary Authors. Now, in terms of performance, how this works here is that it radiates off your skin and it lasts very, very long, in my opinion. The smells of the smoke, the burned vanilla, I mean, it keeps coming no matter what time. Like, even if you've worn this more than 5-6 hours, every time you do this, it comes in. So you get to smell it, you get to enjoy it. I don't think this should be a huge projector because it's sweet. It's sweet, vanillic, burning, so it should be sort of like just right here. I think it should be like more of like a draw-in scent rather than a projector, because of the ultra sweet, the burning, the woods. I mean, it might be too much if they made like a beast mode version of this. So I think that the blend is perfect. I think that this is also for mood, because this is for somebody that maybe wants to smell like charred vanilla or charred marshmallows today. Well, this one will definitely make it happen for you. Also, full bottle is $95, so it's not even a lot because it is an indie house, and they do have I think it was like a 14 ml, which is a huge amount. If you guys saw my decant video, 14 mils is quite a lot, and they sell it for $30 or something like that. And of course, you have the gray market. They have partials that people are selling, so you might even get like a full bottle, maybe 40 ml for, I don't know, $70. So that's it. That's my review of Imaginary Authors By the Fireplace. Imaginary Authors Memoirs of a Trespasser. Don't forget it. This is the most popular one out of the entire brand. And if you would like me to review the other ones from this brand, make sure you hit me on the comments below and let me know what do you guys want to see next from this house. Okay, that's it, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Okay, I think we're about to hit 4K and I'm so excited for that. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you all, guys. I'll see you tomorrow with another review. Peace.